What up with it, y'all? What's going on? What's up? What's up? Let's get it in. Let's go over, y'all. So I went ahead and I got this stuck in my mind. I had a conversation. A friend called me and we was rapping, and I said, "Yo, that's crazy." So this is a hypothetical. This is a straight fantasy hypothetical situation about college football. But I thought it was fun, so I wanted to bring it to y'all because I'm like, "Yo, this is dope, right?" Let me get this. Let me make this. Get this video before I forget about this, right? So let's just go down. Let's take a trip down memory lane, right? Just imagine it's selection Sundays all over. The 12-team playoff bracket is set. You know what I'm saying? The committee just now made that statement that they just announcing the teams, everybody going off. You got the unprecedented decision they making, the automatic bids for the champions in the Sun Belt and the American Athletic Conference. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. They got ignored though. James Madison and Tulane are out in this scenario. But then they placed the committee, put Vanderbilt and Notre Dame. The college football world right now, is chaos. Everybody's going absolutely nuts because Duke just beat Virginia. You know what I mean? You got people, they screaming and they hollering. But I got something for scenario, right? Because they told you that the conference champion has a shot at getting into the playoffs, right? These guys were conference champions, although they're at the G5 level. But that's why I think the group of five needs their own playoff. They just do, y'all. And so I went ahead and I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a bracket for both the scenario that I'm talking about now and a group of five playoff to eliminate the whole 16 players, the 16 teams. We'll have 16 teams in the playoffs, but it won't be what you think it is, right? We'll just go 8-8 with the teams. So below, I don't know if you can see it. So let me get it on the screen here. Give me a second here to get it on the screen. I think I got it on the screen right on the side of me, right? So if you can see it, if you can't see it, I'll talk you through the bracket, right? Right now, the bracket is up. You would have Vanderbilt going to Oregon. So Oregon would be hosting Vanderbilt. Oklahoma would be hosting Miami Hurricanes. Ole Miss would be hosting Notre Dame because Notre Dame goes to the 11, which puts Miami at 9 because they jumped up. And Bama, let's just be honest, 10 would have fit them, right? 10C would have fit Bama, right? The 10C would have fit Bama. But all the blue bloods are in the playoffs. So your first round is Alabama at Texas A&M, Notre Dame at Ole Miss, Miami at Oklahoma, Vanderbilt at Oregon. Wow. So my first thing would be, do y'all even think that this would change? Before I even go up to, do you think that bracket would even change? Do you think there may have been some shifts? Does Bama survive the first round? Then they go straight to Ohio State. Does Notre Dame beat Ole Miss in the first round? They go play Georgia. Does Ole Miss stay in? Does Oklahoma beat Miami? Go to play Indiana? Does Vanderbilt somehow squeak one out against Oregon? I don't know. We don't know. But this would have been an amazing playoff all the way through. So even if you advanced, so say we just advanced the team. Let's say you advance Vanderbilt. They played Texas Tech. You know what I mean? And then however it goes, you get in, good games all the way through. These games are very good games. You cannot deny that. You can't deny that. That would be the bracket right there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's erase that bracket. Now, this is why I think the group of 5 needs their own playoffs. Because a conference champion is supposed to be allowed to get into the playoffs, correct? We all say that. But then we always say bowl games don't matter. There's a lot of people out there say bowl games don't matter. Well, I'm here to say that bowl games matter. They do. They do. And if they didn't, then why continue to have a bowl name in the college football playoff? Huh? Talk to me now. If bowl games don't matter, why continue to have a bowl inside of the college football playoffs? Why not just leave it as the playoffs? If they did, but they matter to athletic directors, coaches, and players. They do. And for everybody that say, well, their players didn't play in the game, well, the strongest conferences are supposed to have high caliber recruits. Well, those 4 and 5 star recruits should be able to win. They matter. They do matter. But I don't want to get too hung up on that. But I just wanted to present that. Now, if I could think of this, I'm pretty sure the NCAA, I have already thought about this. They had to. They had to have already thought about this scenario. As you can see on the screen popping up, I have a scenario that's going to 16 teams. However, what's the thing in this 16 teams? This would be the group of 5 playoff bracket here. This what the group of 5 playoff bracket would look like had we go to 16 teams. So 16 teams in my eyes would be just straight out putting 8 on the power 5 side and 8 as you see in a group of 5. I think it'll help build these brands, help these schools recruit better, recruit better. I don't want to say better talent, do better recruitment, help with facilities, enrollment, so forth and so on, right? It's just going to help the school. It's going to help the brand. It's going to keep bowls alive, right? And then you don't have to argue. The top 8 teams is the top 8 teams. You don't got to go into 9, 10, 11, and 12. No. We ain't got to put, no. The top 8 teams in college football are in the playoffs. No buys. Let's straight get to it. And then you got the playoffs. Now, then you can go into the portal. And then you can do the portal. And then you can go on and, into the season. Or we say free agency, however it goes. Right? Let's get it done and over with. Let's not drag it out a whole bye week. Give everybody a week to rest after conference championship week. You get a rest. No buys. Let's get to it. Everybody gets a week. Nobody's sitting for 2 weeks because they gotta buy. They get a first round buy. No, let's get to it. Let's get straight to it with the 8. But this with the and I didn't do it based off of any record. I tried to kind of mix it up a little bit. Because as you can see, there's 3 American Athletic Conference teams up here, right? And that would be North Texas, Navy, and Tulane. However, I do think that they would have that they're maybe you can argue that the Mountain West is, or the American Athletic, one of those conferences, like, I don't know which one is compared to be like the SEC of the group of 5, but I mean, this based upon this year, those teams were balling, right? But so wasn't the Mountain West. Mountain West they were balling too. But so what? I mean, a lot of them were. So I just did all double-digit win teams. I just if they had double digits now, I was teetering with UConn and trying to think about if UConn could be considered a group of 5 or going in it or not. But I ended up with Western Michigan versus Boise State, UNLV versus Tulane, Navy versus Kennesaw State, in North Texas versus James Madison University in the first round. Then you just get straight to a semifinal, right? And then a national championship for the group of 5, national championship for the group of 5. Now, I mean, even if they wanted to push it even further and call it I don't know, the college football ultimate bowl or whatever, and put the Power 5 champ versus the group of 5 champ. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If you want to stretch one out. Now, I know I'm pushing with saying that, but this format gives them, and I think these games are competitive. I think these games would have been highly competitive. I do. You're going to see blowouts regardless. Teams get hot and teams don't. Now, I was on the other side of that. I was sitting there like, oh, that's going to be a blowout. Well, we can say that the same thing. We just seen Bama get spanked by Indiana. We seen Texas Tech not score a point versus Oregon. So that's going to happen. But does this even a playing field? I think so. I think this evens the playing field. And I think it helps build brands. And I talked about this with DP. Shout out to DP, man. I talked about I think it does. I think this does. And I don't see, if I can see it, I don't know how they can't see that. You rebrand UNLV. That's always been a kind of a blue blood at G5. It has been. But you bringing that back out, Western Michigan, helping the MAC. There's always going to be a MAC guy in there. Boise State, they're like a blue blood. Tulane is. I mean, helping Kennesaw State with it, that would have tremendously helped them. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the playoffs. Had there been one this year for the group of 5, that would have been dope. And you could take the bowls, those higher name bowls, and now those bowls mean something, right? Now, granted, I don't think you would have some of the Big 12 bowls. Other conferences bowl games would probably be taken away from them, but now those bowls, like, they do mean something. They mean even more. Higher stakes, bigger money, all there. And that's what it's about, right? At the end of the day. But, that's kind of just what I wanted to put up there and kind of show y'all, that would happen. But, because and then going back into if Notre Dame was in there, right? First, you have to explain after a week, they was at 11. The committee felt their body of work was, they was strong and they just couldn't ignore them and whatever else with the committee. I think it makes it much easier for all parties involved. And I don't think that this would be a logistical nightmare to switch the bowl games around, the names. No, I don't. I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think that it'd be a logistical nightmare is because it's simple. 8 teams, the top 8. You want to go to 16? This is how we do 16. Period. This is how we do 16. And if not saying that it might happen, because all this is hypothetical, right? This is just like a hypothetical, simulation of things, right? But if you go and you want to add another game in, we can group of 5 champ, Power 5 champ. Or I think that at that point, I think it's just too much, to be honest. But I think that you have a group of 5 national champion, just like you have an FCS national champion, and you got a Power 5 national champion. And I think that's great. And I think that'd be great for football. I do. I think it'd be great for college football. I honestly think it would be great for college football. I do. I know it would be. You can't miss the way that NIL, and NIL is different from the transfer portal, right? But the way NIL has opened door for athletes to brand themselves and turn a brand, and help brand themselves, and the way that the transfer portal is around college football, like you're going to see just how we're going to see UCLA may rise. Bob Chesney going up there, they're one of the teams on watch. Whittingham going over to Michigan, definitely, but they're blue blood, so you're expecting that. Matt Campbell going to Penn State. You want to look out, but there's always going to be a surprise team who comes up now, and that goes into the college football playoff out of the Power 5 conference, out of one of the Power 4 conferences. Power 4 conferences. There's going to be a surprise team, or a couple every year, like Virginia this year. You're going to get that next year. We don't know who that may be. Belichick's team might, North Carolina might do a total 360 and bounce back. Or Baylor might pull one off. Who knows? Who knows? Colorado may gave some people a run for money. Who knows what may happen with college football, especially in a very unpredictable Big 12 conference, even though good ball is definitely being played there. The inconsistencies of the ACC, you don't know. I think Miami is back. I do believe that, but it'll be fun. And then because every year in a group of 5, you're seeing a different team rise every year. Every year. Boise just won the Mountain West Conference, and they had 8 wins. They lost more conference games, but they won it. So that would have put them in the playoffs. And Boise's a good team. But that's all I'm saying is that just think about that. And to also just to give y'all a visual what the college football playoff may have looked like with Vanderbilt Notre Dame in the power side of things, power conferences, and then give y'all an actual visual of what a group of 5 playoff would look like. Yes, so we would knock out 4 teams from the power conference, but you're adding 8 on the group side. But now you got power and group national champions. You can't mess with that. That's an alley hoop. That's the alley hoop to Shaq when he was with the Orlando Magic. Can't miss. You can't miss. But I just wanted to come at y'all while I had the idea out of my head. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Give me, let's get the ideas rolling. So when we pop up, when I do the next live, we got them going. We got a conversation going right away. Y'all give me some more ideas. Make sure y'all get down in the comments and have a conversation. Hype the video, man. Like the video, share it out. You know what I'm saying? And let's just get the conversation going. But I always like to end the videos, man. Pray for yourself. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'm always praying for y'all, especially the ones who get down in the comments, man. Even if you're not, still. Peace.